Very good morning to all. I hope all of you are doing very well. प्यारे बच्चों, बहुत एनर्जी के साथ बोर्ड एग्जाम्स की प्रिपरेशंस करनी है. In previous lecture we were discussing about the respiration in organism, where we had already discussed that it is a biochemical process used to take place inside the cells of living organism, in which oxidation of food used to take place mainly. इसकी टाइप्स को डिस्कस करा था, एरोबिक अनएरोबिक को, देन स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम में कंडक्शन पाथ, रेस्पिरेटरी पाथ को डिस्कस करा था. Now in today's lecture we will discuss about the mechanism of respiration in human. The entire mechanism is divided into 4 steps. They are breathing, exchange of gases, transportation of gases and cellular respiration. Now, several times questions used to come in board examination that differentiate between respiration and breathing. So you need to remember that respiration is a biochemical process, whereas breathing is a physical process. In breathing, mainly what we used to do, we used to exchange the gases from our surrounding environment. We are breathing in the air, we are exhaling the air. So this process is breathing. So respiration is a biochemical process which takes place inside the cells, whereas breathing is a physical process in which we used to exchange the gases from our surrounding environment. It is a physical process and it utilizes the energy because muscles are involving in this process. So during the functioning of those muscles, they used to utilize the energy. So in respiration, when we used to talk about the respiration inside the cells, it used to release the energy, whereas breathing used to utilize the energy. Diaphragm and intercostal muscles plays important role in breathing. Now what exactly they are? Now in the upper part of my body there is a muscular partition over here. Below this partition abdominal cavity is present and above it thoracic cavity is present. So this is a muscular partition, diaphragm. Now these are my ribs. In between the ribs you can imagine the elastic structures on the outer side and as well as on the inner side. Now imagine those elastic structures on the outer side. So ribs are named as costa in Latin language. So in between costa, that is intercostal, on the outer side external intercostal, inner side internal intercostal. So there are main 3 type of muscles involved in breathing mechanism: external intercostal, internal intercostal, diaphragm, and during the forceful breathings abdominal muscles also used to take part. So diaphragm and intercostal muscles plays important role in the breathing. You need to remember what exactly diaphragm. Diaphragm is a muscular partition. Muscular partition divide our body into 2 parts. On the upper side of it thoracic cavity, lower side abdominal cavity. These red structures are our ribs. In between the ribs muscles are present. White muscle is representing external intercostal and orange color is representing internal intercostal. So first step to understand the mechanism of breathing, we need to remember there are 4 steps: breathing, exchange of gases, transportation and cellular. Breathing is a physical process. You need to differentiate between breathing and respiration. Respiration biochemical है, breathing physical है. Respiration releases the energy, breathing utilizes the energy. ठीक है? Breathing used to take place with the help of intercostal muscles and diaphragm. During this process, we used to exchange the gases from surrounding environment. Sorry. Now, The breathing process mainly divided into two parts, the process of inspiration and process of expiration. During the inspiration process, we used to uh, intake the air from surrounding environment, external intercostal muscle and diaphragm. They used to get contract. So you just imagine the situation, a muscle, elastic muscle is present over here. It used to get contract. When it used to get contract, it increases the size of thoracic cavity. Likewise that this diaphragm is present. When it is relaxed, it is dome shaped. But when it used to get contract, it used to become flattened. So it also increases the thoracic cavity. When diaphragm contracts, it becomes flattened. It becomes now they increases the thoracic cavity, size of thoracic cavity. Now just compare the process of inspiration with the process how we used to fill the air in balloon. Very first we used to stretch it, we increases the size. As soon as we increases the size, the pressure of air inside it becomes low and air easily move from outer side to inner side. Similarly that when intercostal muscle contracts and diaphragm contracts, is increases the size, the pressure inside the lungs of gases used to get decreased. So due to increase in the size of thoracic cavity, pressure of air inside lungs used to get decreases and air start to move from environment into lungs. Now the vice versa process, expiration, we will release the air into the surrounding environment. During this process, यहाँ पर muscles contract हुई थी तो अब यहाँ पर relax होंगी. Now imagine if we want to release the air from balloon, we used to press it. When we used to press it, the size used to get decreases, pressure inside it increases and air comes out. Likewise that earlier when diaphragm becomes contract, it becomes flattened. But when it used to get relaxed, again it converted into dome shaped. The external intercostal muscle relax, they decreases the size of thoracic cavity and increases the pressure inside the lungs. As a result, air moves outer side. That is how inspiration and expiration used to take place. So always remember, breathing, physical process, utilizes the energy. Intercostal muscles and diaphragm plays important role. During inspiration, we intake the air. For it, external intercostal muscle and diaphragm contract, increases the size of thoracic cavity. You can feel that increasing of the thoracic cavity. When we used to take deep breath, the thoracic cavity increases its size. So due to this increase in size, the pressure inside the lungs decreases and air moves from outer side to inner side. During expiration, the diaphragm and external intercostal muscle, they used to get relaxed. When they used to get relaxed, they decreases the size of thoracic cavity. As a result, pressure inside lungs increases and air start to move from lungs towards environment. Now the second step. 4 steps are there to understand the mechanism of breathing. Breathing we had already discussed. Exchange of gases, transportation and cellular respiration. Now exchange of gases. Mainly used to discuss two sides over here. How the exchange of gases used to take place inside the lungs and how it used to take place inside the other body organ. Inside the lungs, deoxygenated blood used to get converted into oxygenated blood. Inside the lungs, deoxygenated blood used to get converted into oxygenated blood. What does this deoxygenated blood means? The blood which contain more amount of CO2. The blood enters inside the lungs with the help of pulmonary artery, which brings the deoxygenated blood. Since the amount of CO2 is higher in these blood capillaries, the CO2 start to move from blood capillaries. These are our blood capillaries. So CO2 start to move from blood capillaries towards alveolus, and gradually when we use to inspire, oxygen enters inside the alveoli of our lungs, and from this alveoli oxygen start to get entered into the blood capillaries. As a result, this blood becomes oxygenated. Now pulmonary vein carry this oxygenated blood towards heart, and heart start to transfer towards body organ with the help of arteries. Now artery brings oxygenated blood in body organ. So over here what will happen? Oxygenated blood used to get converted into deoxygenated blood. So remember, exchange of gases में हमें inside the lungs we converted deoxygenated into oxygenated, and in other body organs we convert oxygenated into deoxygenated. These blood capillaries brings the oxygenated blood. Oxygen enters from blood capillaries into the tissue of our body organ, and from tissue it enters inside the cells. Cell produces the CO2, comes out into the tissue fluid. This is our tissue fluid, and from tissue fluid this CO2 enters into blood capillary. As a result, blood becomes over here deoxygenated. So यहाँ oxygenated था blood, which used to get converted into deoxygenated. This deoxygenated blood again comes back to the heart. Heart brings it inside the lungs. Inside the lungs, deoxygenated blood, more CO2 will enter into the alveolus. Oxygen will enter from alveolus into blood capillaries, will become again oxygenated. Oxygenated blood with the help of pulmonary vein reaches inside the heart and move towards the body organ. Inside the body organ, oxygen enters from blood capillaries into the tissue fluid, then into the cells. CO2 is produced, which is released into tissue fluid, enter into blood capillary, and then blood becomes deoxygenated. Deoxygenated blood will come to the heart. Heart will again bring it into the lungs. That is how exchange of gases used to take place. Now, next part is transportation of gases. There are two main gases, oxygen and CO2. Thus, oxygen transport mainly used to take place by two methods. 3% of total oxygen used to get dissolved in the blood plasma because it contained the water inside it, and 97% used to get attached with the pigment hemoglobin present on the surface of red blood cells to form oxyhemoglobin, and it is transported in the form of oxyhemoglobin only. When we used to discuss about the transportation of CO2, 7% of total CO2 used to get dissolved in the blood plasma, 23% used to get attached with hemoglobin, and 70% is transported in the form of bicarbonate ion. That is how these gases used to get transported inside our body. And the last step is cellular respiration. Now, we had breathed the air, then this air used to get exchanged inside the lungs, get transported, reaches inside the cells. Inside the cells, what happens? Inside the cells, the oxidation of glucose will start to take place. First, glucose used to get converted into pyruvic acid, and then it will enter inside the mitochondria and get converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy. That is how cellular respiration used to take place. So it's over about the respiration process. Thank you.